Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. So this is a video that I've been thinking about making for a while, and I've been avoiding it mainly because I think it'll make pretty much everyone upset because no one's going to agree with me. And also, um, I don't want to give off this impression that I have some insider information or knowledge that makes my opinion better than anyone else's opinion. But I have this channel and I have been following Aptera for a long time, and I think some of you are probably interested in my opinion about this thing and understand where I'm coming from. Like, pretty much, I have a lot to gain if Aptera succeeds. One, I run a YouTube channel called Aptera Owners Club, and my channel will most likely die if Aptera does not succeed. And also, if Aptera becomes a large success, it's probable that my channel will also become a large success because currently it's probably the most viewed channel solely dedicated to Aptera. Now, there's other people that cover Aptera with large followings, but it's not completely dedicated to Aptera. So, yeah, if Aptera succeeds, my YouTube channel succeeds. If Aptera does not succeed, my YouTube channel also does not succeed. Also, I'm an investor, and so my investment would do better. And also, I have so many referrals that theoretically I could possibly get multiple free Apteras if Aptera succeeds. So, lots of reasons that Aptera succeeding would be personally good for me. So, and also, I'm a huge fan of Aptera, which is why I started the channel, and I remain a huge fan. I love the vehicle, and I would like for it to become a reality. All right, so that being said, um, I just had this interview with Chris Anthony on July 16th, and I really appreciate that Chris takes time out of his busy schedule to talk to some guy sitting in his study with a YouTube channel at 9 p.m. at night. I think that says a lot. And I always enjoy talking to Chris, and I think he does the best he can with these interviews. He is handcuffed quite a bit um, by wanting to present things that are good for the company. And also, there are rules. They are planning on becoming a public company at this point, and they have to become a reporting company. And SEC has many rules about how information can be disseminated, and it cannot be disseminated through stuff like this. It needs to be disseminated through like official channels, and they also have to be very careful about the things that they say because they are now trying to become a public company at some point. So I think he gives the best answers he can. All right, so here's the things that I've noticed in the comments, and I tried to ask the questions that were important to me, and I think were important to a lot of people. And people were saying, "Oh, well, he like never gave an answer. He just dances around it, and he doesn't give an answer." I think some of the people that are making these comments are basically wanting me to get like a gotcha interview where I'm I'm out to like get them, and they're not going to be satisfied until I deliver that kind of thing. That's not my goal. That's not my point. My point is to ask the questions that are on people's minds and just give them an opportunity to answer or not answer. And I'm not going to push it. I'm not trying to um, get them into a corner and corner them. That's not what I'm good at, and that's not what I want to do. And also, they just can't do it. Again, there's lots of things that Chris is not able to say. Okay, number two, um, people are one of the things are like, well, they've never given us any information. They've done they did the wind tunnel test with Pininfarina a long time ago. We never got any kind of coefficient of drag or any data from this. I mean, they have some data from this, but it's not been presented to the public. And then they've done track testing, and we've gotten some like little snippets of data from it, but not real data. And then there was that road trip from Flagstaff to Carlsbad, and we didn't get any real data from that. We have to extrapolate a lot of things. So why is that happening? I have my reasons why I think it is. Here's why I think they could release the data, and I think people that follow Aptera religiously. Like I would personally love to see the data. It would be interesting. It would give me stuff to look at, and we could talk about it, and we would understand that this is preliminary data. So here's why I think that they're not doing it. And I think they're not presenting it for a very specific reason. One is presumably the data is not as good as they wanted it to be. So like I don't think the efficiency is like 100 watt hours per mile, per watt hours per mile. Yeah, I don't think it's that good. If it was, I think they would release it, because that would look good. But what if the efficiency is like 130 or 140 or something, and then people that are following Aptera, they would know, okay, yeah, that's preliminary data from a prototype. It's going to get better. They're fine tuning things. We understand that. However, people that don't follow Aptera, this kind of stuff gets out in the press, and they'll have headlines like Aptera fails to reach efficiency targets, or Aptera does not reach the projected efficiency targets, that kind of stuff. These are the headlines that are going to obviously come out. And then a lot of people that don't follow Aptera closely or peripherally, or first time they hear about it, they're going to just write it off, which I think is very unfair. So I think that's what they're trying to avoid by releasing this information. Or it could be the other way around. Maybe the efficiency numbers are really good, but they're afraid that their production car won't exactly reach those numbers, and they don't want to have people expecting these really good numbers, but then when they finish the production car, it's not going to be the number. So while I personally wish that they would release more numbers and give us validation information, because it would be really fun to follow along, I think what they're doing is actually wise, waiting until they have an actual real full production Aptera to run the numbers on, and then release that, which is what they are saying that they're planning to do. Okay, so that's my feelings on that part. And then there's a bunch of people who are just, second guessing what Chris Anthony and Steve Fambro and the Aptera team are doing. And they're saying, oh, I could totally do a better job. They're doing this, this, and this, and this wrong. And, it's so easy to play armchair quarterback. I think what they're trying to do is just really hard. It's really hard. And I honestly believe that they are trying hard. They're trying their best to do it. Now, maybe their best isn't good enough. That's a possibility. But I don't know. I've never done anything like this. I think it's super hard. And I think unless your name is Elon Musk, Peter Rawlinson, or RJ Scarridge, you just really don't know. And your opinion is about as worth as much as we paid to get it. So yeah, unless you're one of those three people, you don't actually know what's involved, and you think you know what's involved, and you think you have the right answer. But there's a lot of things you don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. There's things that they're trying, and every time I talk to them, I get the impression that all these things that people talk about in the comments, yeah, they've thought of it. Okay, it's not like we aren't as smart as we think. It's people that do this every day, and it's their job, and they think about it. They have definitely thought about the thing that some guy watching a YouTube channel commenting in the comments has thought about. It's not like the things that people are suggesting are things that are revolutionary and new, and are so amazingly smart that only they have thought of this thing.
Okay, and then I think I wanted to talk about finances, but I think I need to collect my thoughts more about the finances before I do it. So maybe I'll do that in another video. Well, so let me know what you guys think about transparency. How important is transparency, and what do you think Aptera needs to do with transparency in balancing the wants of like rabid fans like us versus the risk of having preliminary data numbers and other things be, put into headlines for people that are discovering Aptera for the first time, or peripherally following Aptera, and have a narrative that kind of gets out of control and hurts the company in the long term. I think that's sort of the metric that they're balancing. And I think that they're making a good decision on it, although I would like them to release more information. Just for me personally, I just would like more information. But in the whole calculus of everything, I think they're making the best decision actually by not releasing preliminary information. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.